Hi everyone! In this video I want to show you how to knit a beautiful pattern called basketweave. It's really easy to knit and looks fantastic in your projects. So start by casting on an even number of stitches using the regular method. For this sample I cast on 14 stitches. Now that the stitches are on the needle, turn your work. I usually knit the front loops for regular patterns, but for this pattern, it's easier for me to knit through the back loops. The pattern repeats consists of 2 rows. For one pattern, knit 1 row as a knit row and 1 row as a purl row. I knit this pattern without edge stitches. Now let's begin the first row. First, knit the second stitch through the back loop. Then, slip it off the needle together with the first stitch. After that, put the first stitch back on the left needle and knit it through the back loop. This is just my preference. You can also knit the second stitch first, then the first stitch and slip them off the needle together afterward. But as I mentioned, I find it easier to knit it this way. Continue this pattern until the end of the row. The second row is the purl row. When you knit a purl row, slip the first stitch without knitting it. Now purl the second stitch, then purl the first stitch. Afterward, slip these knitted stitches off the needle. Again, purl the second stitch, then the first stitch, and slip them off the needle. Continue this pattern until the end of the row. At the end of the row, you have 1 stitch left. Purl it. That's it. Keep alternating these 2 rows for the desired number of rows. Turn your work and knit the third row. Knit all the knit rows like the first row and all the purl rows like the second row. I'll knit a few more rows and then show you how I finish rows in this pattern. I used this method to knit a bag and I'll share the process with you soon. Now, after knitting a few more rows, I finished on a knit row because I'll be binding off on a purl row. Turn your work, and for the purl row, slip the first stitch without knitting it. Then purl the next 2 stitches according to the pattern. So there are 3 stitches on the right needle. So lift 2 previous stitches over the last one. Then purl the next 2 stitches according to the pattern and bind off the stitches. This way all the subsequent stitches will be bound off. Here is the last stitch, purl it, then place the previous stitch onto it. That's it. In the next video I'll show you a back knitted with this pattern. Goodbye, thanks for watching and see you soon!